Notre Dame Cathedral, also known as Notre Dame de Paris, meaning Our Lady of Paris in French, is a Gothic cathedral located in the 4th arrondissement of Paris, France. The island is located on the eastern half of the Ile de la Cité, which is an island in the middle of the Seine River and the oldest portion of Paris, dating back to the 4th century. Unlike older Romanesque construction, the Notre Dame Cathedral's sculptures and stained glass windows show a strong influence of naturalism. It was one of the first Gothic cathedrals, and it was built throughout the Gothic period. The construction of Notre Dame Cathedral began in the 12th century, but it was not completed until nearly 300 years later. It is today one of the most notable cathedrals in France, as well as one of the oldest. The different architectural styles that run throughout the structure demonstrate the length of time it took to construct. Although it is largely French Gothic, there are portions of the building that exhibit the Renaissance and Naturalism eras. These various styles contribute to the building's magnificent yet eccentric attractiveness. Notre Dame Cathedral was not initially designed with flying buttresses. However, as the cathedral's construction progressed, the thinner walls, popularized in the Gothic design, climbed increasingly higher, and stress cracks began to appear as the walls pushed outward. In an attempt to solve the difficulty, the cathedral's architects constructed supports around the outside walls, and following extensions maintained the practice. Notre Dame is one of the first structures to use the flying buttress in the world. The cathedral has sustained significant damage during its long history, particularly during the French Revolution in 1786. Fortunately, it was sympathetically restored and has continued to draw worldwide interest. The cathedral has hosted countless religious rituals and historical events, and people of all faiths and countries, regardless of their own religious beliefs, still marvel at its unique majesty. Pope Pius X beatified Joan of Arc in the cathedral in 1909. The brave young girl who informed everyone she had visions from God went on to help the French in their struggles with English soldiers in the early 1400s. The French relied on her word and eventually defeated England in numerous conflicts. As a royalist, she also assisted in the coronation of Charles VII. Her religious visions and views, however, did not convince everyone, and she was later assassinated by Burundians who accused her of heresy and burned her at the stake. Her name was cleared in 1456, and she became renowned as an innocent martyr. Notre Dame Cathedral is widely regarded as one of the world's greatest examples of French Gothic architecture. In French, the word Notre Dame means Our Lady, and it is widely used in the titles of Catholic church buildings in Francophone nations. The Cathedral of Notre Dame contains extensive displays of artwork, furnishings, and many precious artifacts that reflect the neo-Gothic design. Tourists are welcome to view and admire these pieces in the cathedral for a modest entrance fee. Notre Dame Cathedral, often known as Our Lady, is still used for Sunday Mass by the Roman Catholic Church and serves as the seat of the Archbishop of Paris. Attending Mass in the dramatically beautiful and inspirational cathedral is a major draw for thousands of Catholic pilgrims from around the world. The iconic bell, which has been modified to ring automatically, is a remarkable and distinct historical artifact that is still highly popular today. Visitors to the bell tower should be prepared to ascend the 140-step staircase if they want to witness the historical bell. But after the long trek, your reward is an amazing and jaw-dropping view of the entirety of Paris. Among the many historical artifacts inside Notre Dame Cathedral is a famous 17th century organ with all of its parts still intact. There are also drawings, plans, and engravings depicting the old and hidden mysteries of numerous religious developments, as well as those depicting how Paris developed and grew. Surrounding the church are a variety of gorgeous Parisian hotels and sidewalk cafes and restaurants, several of which have wonderful views of the cathedral in its entirety. The Cathedral of Notre Dame is arguably most recognized for its connection to the story of the Hunchback of Notre Dame, which has inspired several cartoons and films. But the French Gothic architecture that continues to draw people from all over the world is an unequaled, flawless example to this day. Your trip to Paris would be incomplete without a proper visit to Notre Dame. Sit down in one of the pews, say a prayer, and marvel at the ingenuity of mankind and their extreme devotion to God, a higher power, the fruits of the afterlife, and being reunited once again with loved ones past. Because, after all, that's what the cathedral really represents. The visit can be a highly emotional experience for some visitors, but you will walk away feeling in complete awe of the grandeur and inspiring nature of this amazingly beautiful architectural and religious marvel of the world. We hope you enjoyed this journey. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to see all of our videos of all the amazing places to see in the world.